Hey, what's up, everybody? Give me a minute, real quick. All right, this is the Reluctant Nabi. Um, give me a hot second. Um, just a bunch of stuff has happened here, and just to put it out, right? Um, First off, shout out to brother Texas Marine who is down here right now. Um, this has been one eventful trip. This has been one eventful trip. Um, so I'm just giving you a purview of some essays that's been happening, what's been going down, um, and kind of right now, I have money that was stolen out of my safe, but I'm gonna see how it's going to get resolved. And we're talking about even the Brazilian money. Okay, so look like I may be in some hotels with some thieves that work here. We'll get into that. That's going to be a different video as I'll give you an in-depth review of my stay here, and because there's a lot of stuff that's happened here. All right, so again, let me my PayPal Cash App is in the description box. Don't worry about anything, but as usual, along with my screen, with my email and all that stuff, because we are going to still do for children. I may have to do it in another location other than here, or other than Barranquilla, or other than this area, this hotel. But I told you there's a difference in that. Here, I'm not seen as a brother, but more so as somebody with resources. Now, some people really, really appreciate it. And I'm starting to understand who the people are. But that's going to be another video. Okay, that's going to be another video. Right now, all right, right now, we're going to discuss this because as bad as things have been for me, y'all have to understand that if you don't get this understanding, y'all have to understand that the worst thing that is happening right now, all right, I want y'all to get an understanding, and all you're getting, get an understanding that the worst thing that is happening to us right now as a community, and if it doesn't understand me when I say this, if this doesn't stop, if this trend do not stop, and the BAW is straight up helping. All right. So we're going to talk about that. Now we've always talk about it, but even some of the people are starting to wake up and say, like, wait a minute. Hold up, wait a minute. All right. They're saying, hold up, wait a minute. And the issue, the issue is a lot of people are catching on when it's way too late. All right. A lot of people are catching on when it's way too late. All right. It's too late to fix the community because you can't fix people that want to be broke in the worst way. Let me say this. You cannot fix a community where the people not only want to be broken, but they relish in being broken. And there's a reason they relish in being broken. And that reason is, and we'll get into this too. These are all things we're going to get into. The reason why they relish in being broken, because it's easy and they're lazy and they are afraid. And I'm going to say this. You got a bunch of so-called black men along with some white people, but not the white government who is giving the black woman power to destroy her community. You got a lot of these dudes that are so afraid of the black woman. And we will talk about how they are afraid of the black woman. They scared of her. They are afraid of the black American woman, right? But there is a sinister particular reason on the part of the people who are afraid. Understand this. There is a sinister, wicked reason on the part of the people who are afraid as to why they are afraid of the BAW, the Black American woman. All right, understand this. There is a sinister reason as to why this is happening. And when I say sinister, I mean sinister on their part. All right, not necessarily the black woman's part, but men that have this fear are the ones that's also feeding into the ego of the BAW and giving them power to destroy the community. And them, by their very nature, are helping to destroy the community. And all who are destroying the community are very aware of what they are doing, but don't give a damn because they think they are getting some advantage from it. Or they have, as they say, that feminine energy. Well, if I cannot, out of jealousy, if I cannot be like the person who's working hard, I'll just destroy them. That mentality. All right. So as we get started, we're going to break this down. All right. All right, give me a moment. All right. Oh, dang, I messed that up. Turned it off kind of soon. But anyway, so so let's get into what's going on now. First, let's see who popped in. All right. Now, I normally put my beginning thing in first, and I put this in here for a reason. I put this in here for a reason. A lot of these females are becoming famous because the photographers, the people, the Caucasians want them to be famous. All right, famous. Okay, hold on for a second. Now, for y'all to understand, I want y'all to understand what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this. That what's going on here is that we are we have a massive problem of the deification of the BAW simply because of body looks. Everybody and their grandmother is lying to the BAW. So, what's up, masculinity? What's up, USMC vet Daniel Porter? Semper Fi USMC vet. Semper Fi Texas Marine. Let's see. Zimalu, hey, what's up, brother? Space Rice Crispy, Youngboy 24. What's going down? All right. What's up, Kelly Gill? Who else popped up in here? Hey, Mr. Pirate Brain, I ain't seen you in a minute. Hey, Yadiah, what's going down? Baruch 12, Baruch. Ooh, sorry, Baruch 12. What's up? And Backwoods Rider. Hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, one loyal king? How you doing today? All right. So, all right. So this is what's going on. Everybody is lying to the BAW. Let me say this again. They're lying to the BAW. And they're lying to the BAW because a bunch of people are making money off of the lies that they tell the BAW. All right. And a bunch of corrupt so-called black peoples, all right, they want to call themselves our brethren, but they're not. Right? On the same, they're in the same vein of the so-called supremacy that we're supposed to be against, right? And the thing is that they're all making money off of this. Now, one of the things, it really kind of didn't make sense to people, but you have to go back and read the commandment in regards to idols and understand that we misread that scripture all the time because we're reading it in the wrong language. We don't read it as it was originally written. Let me explain that. There is something lost. Y'all know that I speak a few languages, right? Right. So with that said, even when I'm crossing languages, right? If I really want to understand or want to really, like here in Spanish, one of the things that I did here was with my translator, I wanted to understand or use a word that most fit the situation that I was dealing with. And when I used the English word, right, it didn't translate right. It just really wasn't good. So what I did is I said, what if instead of using English, I use Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, because the type of word that I was trying to use, the type of word that I was trying to use, or the thought that I was trying to convey, there was a Portuguese word for it. All right. And so I said, well, what if I use the Portuguese word for it? All right, y'all with me? What if I use the Portuguese word for it and then use the Portuguese words to translate that word into Spanish? And when I did that, I got the word that I could use in Spanish that I wanted by doing it that way. What's up, Daniel Porter? All right. I got the word that I wanted to use by doing it that way. All right. So basically, that's where I was. That's where I'm at. So when you read this closer to the original language, which is going to be Aramaic or African Aramaic, not the Hebrew that the Caucasians speak in the mountains. That's from the mountains. All right. Then you get this. And Elohim spoke these words saying. So there would Elohim mean more than one, right? And then you'll have the difference when the main one who's speaking will single himself out. And so when you look at what the definition of Elohim is, the things we refer to as angels are also Elohims. They are mighty ones. Kings here are mighty ones. All right. But it doesn't, but hold on. But Elohims distinguish the mighty ones, all right, from themselves by calling the mighty ones the sovereigns of the land. Okay. So it should read, I am Yehovah Elohim or Yahaya or Ahaya, right? Who brought you out of the land of Mizraim. So this is going to be Yahaya. Okay. Out of the house of slavery, you shall have no other mighty ones against my face. Now here's the key. Exodus 20:4. Before we get into all this, because we got some ish to discuss. We got some serious ish to discuss. Everybody programming their stuff to do now. We got some serious ish to discuss. Oh, hey, what's up, Negro Sam? All right. And I want y'all to take a look at this as I read it. So I'm going to post this up. And then I'll go back through and hit up all y'all's comments, right? You do not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness that which is in the heavens above, which is in the earth beneath the heavens, and which is in the waters under the earth. I want y'all to understand that and contemplate that for a minute. because this has a lot to do with why we cannot fix the so-called Black community and why your only choice is to separate from the simp sandals and sellouts and the BAW who desires to be worshiped as God. Right? You do not bow down to them nor serve them. For I, Yahweh, your Elohim, am a jealous El. All right? So Elohim is plural, but now you get that the one that's giving this commandment is Ahaya or Yahweh. Right? Because you know that because he singled himself out saying that he is a jealous El. That's singular. Right? Visiting the crookedness of the fathers on the children to the third, fourth, and fourth generations of those who hate me. Yeah, the triple S crew. So when you hear me refer to the triple S crew, there you have it. All right. So this is the very commandment that is being broken by not only the BAWs, it's been broken by the Caucasian government that's given the BAWs power. And it's not a commandment broken by them because it wasn't given to them, but it's a commandment broken by us, the so-called means that decided to deify and say that these women are God because they have a coochie and their butt look big. All right. And yeah, so a lot of these dudes are also known as the secret society of super simps. Quad S's. And now, exactly. And so what the Caucasians did, they said, these foolish people worship everything, right? They worship everything. So what happens? And here is the question. What happens when the Caucasian gives you a false god and makes it the BAW? The BAW now thinks she's a god, and then you got a bunch of simps because it makes them money. They lie and pander to these same Black women. Now, I want you to understand something about these photos. These photos are more popular than Gabrielle Sidibe, all right, or Liz. And so they don't put Liz in a bunch of magazines. The only time they do that is as a token to keep women. Remember, when they put Liz in the magazine, it's not for the men. It's for the women, particularly the Black women, to further deify them, to tell them that no matter how they act, how they treat people, how they have treated their children, don't worry. The system got their back. Why? Why does the system got their back? Because at the end of the day, the system is about, understand this, the system is about destroying us. And what's the best way to destroy us? The way they're doing it right now. All right? The way they're doing it right now. And the first thing you do is you have to strip the Afro man of everything that he is, everything he knows how to do, and the will to be a better man. In other words, everything that you see is to keep the Afro man from being a man. And one of the ways, the slippery slope is you get him to give up his manhood voluntarily. But how do you do that? Another man can't do it. You do it by way of the Black woman, his mom. And you start at birth, how she starts to brainwash. And then you condition the sons never to really read scripture, never to really understand how the Most High worked, so that when you see this, a black woman that's the concubine, not even a concubine, the wrench of a Caucasian man on TV while he's married, and to all these women that think, oh, you shouldn't cheat, they was wet over this. A toxic, crooked woman in love with a man of power, doing all kind of shady wickedness, and this is what they wanted their children to model themselves after. The greatest side piece on network TV. Couldn't have said it better myself. They have that song, I left home, hey, yeah, to be with my side piece. All right, so this is it. Now, here's the thing. I'm about to really become unpopular. I'm about to really become unpopular. You know why? Because I'm about to do the one thing that you are not allowed to do. And that one thing is to tell the truth. You know why that's a problem? Because most of us that follow anything, we can't handle the truth. And you know what? A lot of these dudes really cannot handle the truth. They don't want the truth because they can't handle the truth, right? So, as we delve into this, right, I want y'all to understand. I'm going to show you a video, and we're going to talk about, this is stuff we're going to talk about. I'm going to show you some stuff. The dark side of women. I'm going to show you some stuff. And you have to ask yourself, why can't we tell this? Now, some of y'all heard about the shooting in Detroit. Well, two brothers, one dead and one in critical condition, go and attack a man in his house. All right. How many of you heard about the story in Detroit of the men that went to attack somebody in their house, in his house? And the dude that they went to attack was the baby daddy of the sister that went to get the brothers. And for those of you that saw the original video, and which I did, and probably have it, the woman blatantly says, don't go in the house, because she knew who she was effing. Right? So let's get a gander. Let's get a gander. Let's get a gander real quick on how the news have been reporting it. All right, let's take a look. We're going to take a look at how the news have been reporting it.
I got this video in. It shows two men approaching the door of a house and both of them being shot by the man inside. Turns out the man who was at the house was defending himself from a woman and her two brothers.
An apparent domestic dispute turns deadly on the city's west side. Shots fired in broad daylight, leaving one man dead and another in critical condition. It happened on Wisconsin Street, just north of Grand River on Saturday afternoon. Investigators say it started as an argument between two people, but things escalated when two family members got involved.
Okay, pay attention. Pay attention to the pronouns. Pay attention to the nouns. Pay attention to everything. Matter of fact, I'm going to start this over again. And it takes now that a lot of so-called righteous women or women who want to get right are waking up. They're starting to see that, oh yeah, they're being used as to target us, all right, and to keep what's hidden, what is done by the BAWs in the dark. What's up, Greg Mahone? All right, pay attention, listen again.
So I got this video in. It shows two men approaching the door of a house and both of them being shot by the man inside. Turns out the man who lives at the house was defending himself from a woman and her two brothers.
An apparent domestic dispute turns deadly on the city's west side. Shots fired in broad daylight, leaving one man dead and another in critical condition. It happened on Wisconsin Street, just north of Grand River on Saturday afternoon. Investigators say it started as an argument between two people, but things escalated when two family members got involved. Officers have three persons of interest in custody. The investigation, meantime, is ongoing.
This article right here was written by Alicia Dixon. She wrote, Detroit police officers were dispatched to a home in the 12,000 block of Wisconsin on Detroit's west side.
Keep in mind, Alicia Dixon is a black woman. All right. So let me repeat this one too. Pay attention. Pronouns and all that stuff. Pay attention to what you don't hear.
Here was written by Alicia Dixon. She wrote, Detroit police officers were dispatched to a home in the 12,000 block of Wisconsin on Detroit's west side at approximately 1 p.m. on Saturday afternoon for reports of a shooting. By the way, this took place on July 30th. Police say the incident appears to be a domestic dispute between the resident of the home and someone who they have a child with. A person who...
Hold on. The resident of the home and someone who they have a child with. A person
doesn't live at the residence.
Who doesn't live at the residence.
Left the home and came back with two men.
The person left the home and came back with two men.
Identified as brothers of the person.
Identified as brothers of the person. Are y'all starting to see something kind of shady with this reporting?
The three people, police say, agreed to have a fist fight. The disagreement escalated after two people forced themselves into the residence and shots were fired. Police say one victim has died and one person is in critical condition. Both are males. Three persons of interest have been detained. No further details are known at this time. So, of course, we have another example of how media try to cover up for women. Do you notice the absence of female pronouns or the word woman at all? The word woman was not used once in this article. She wrote men, brothers, male, but left out woman.
Sorry about that. She wrote everything about the men, but left out women. I want y'all to understand that. She made sure that you know that there was violence. Hold on. She made sure, hold on.
Was not used once in this article. She wrote men, brothers, male, but left out woman, she.
She left out woman. I want y'all to understand this. She left out woman. She wrote everything about the men, but left out woman. The same women will tell men that they can't be with a Caucasian woman. They can't be with a Hispanic woman. They'll get their simps. What's up, King Groove? Who else came in here? They'll get their simps to do the same. We need you to attack any man that be with somebody other than the black woman. He can't have a black woman. I mean, he can't have a woman other than a black woman. And the simps be gung ho. Okay, yes, a master mommy. Yes, a master girlfriend. Yes, a master sister, auntie. Yes, an auntie. I'll do it for you. Or a strange black woman. I'll do it for you because you got a coochie and melanated skin. So you're God. Right? Now, I want y'all to understand this. Now, so the black women went and they got their own family members. This is how much the black women do not give a F about the Afro man in America. This woman went and got her blood, as they say. She got two males. What's up, young boy 24? She got her brothers to go. Understand this. She got her brothers to go to their death on her behalf on some SH. So for those of you that's been following this and that understand more of the story, she started this mess. It's a she. The black woman got her brothers to come handle up on her boyfriend with whom she knows has a gun. Hey, what's up, man? Talafalava Soifua. Of her boyfriend with whom she knows has a gun. And the boyfriend is also her baby daddy. I want y'all to understand. The boyfriend is also the baby daddy. So the dude was okay enough for her to get run through by, to give up them legs to, to let him part them feet. And then when she get mad, she got weapons called the brothers, Freeze Meister and Heat Miser. Unfortunately, the dude had that heat and ironed them out with it. What's up, Rashawn? What's up, Baruch? Okay, I got you, Baruch. Okay, unfortunately, he had that heat for when they busted in his house. Listen, they busted in his house. They went in his house and he shot them out of his house. These dudes out of worship, and this is where the fear comes from. They fear correcting the black woman because they worship her. Let me say this again. For those in the back row that don't understand the fear that I'm talking about, because they don't fear the black woman's strength, they don't fear her money, right? They fear being disappointed, her being disappointed in them, because they might not get no nookie from a black woman. They can go get it from, but no, they're not allowed to. So they stay on that plantation where they fear the black woman because they worship her. What did that commandment says? We're not supposed to make anybody mighty over us and bow down and worship them. And that's what these dudes do. So this is the consequences of that worship. As a result of that worship, yes, it is worship. And as a result of that worship, what is happening is this. That because these dudes decided to worship these women, These women are effing them up. They effed up the community. They have destroyed our children. They have gotten lockstep and barrel with the so-called YT supremacy, and they are down for it. They have been the most effective weapon in destroying manhood in the Afro community that the Caucasian government and people that follow it has ever come up with. Nothing has done more destruction statistically to the Afro community, family, and men than the Black woman. Nothing. Bar nothing. Okay? Period. Bar nothing. Nothing has taken more lives than the Black woman. Nothing. Let me say something. There was this Hebrew dude, and so he was on TikTok, and I find that even they don't like other Afro men unless they agree with them. And here's the sad part: I agree with him, but because they get certain things wrong, he had this woman do math about the population in jail or something like that, but she was off because she did the math wrong. And so I said, hey, the math is wrong. It's not 5 point something percent. It's really, it's the amount of Afro men who are in prison, in jail, versus the Afro men who are not. And they got the math wrong. All right. And so I think they kicked me off the thing for correcting the woman. Understand this. They kicked me off of the thing. His name was Moses. And I thought the dude was cool. But yeah, I got kicked off because even the Hebrew Israelite camp dudes worship the woman. So long as they come to their side, they worship the woman as well. They call it protection, but it isn't. And that's why I'm starting to see them as a cult. All right. Unless you can't be a dude that thinks independently of them. Let me say this. You can't be a dude that thinks independently of them and voice that. All right. They'll get rid of you. All right. They'll get rid of you. Even if you agree with them in principle. All right. And if they're females that are wrong and don't like you correcting them, they'll get rid of you. Why? They worship them. Even they worship the Black woman. Hey, Rashad. What's up, Rashad? Even they worship the Black woman. Why? And what's the worship about? Because if you worship, here's what worship is. I want y'all to understand worship in its simplest form. Worship is this: the act of serving something to get something from that thing you serve. Right? So, because they could get money out of the Black woman by having them bring people, bring attention to their platforms, bring fans to their platforms, and all of this, because they could do that, they worship these women. How do they worship them? They will not allow them to be corrected. Once the Black women are on their pages, they don't correct. In other words, they don't do what Scripture says and judge them, because the Scriptures definitely says judge them. When they are out and when they are in error, that it is up to the men, us Afro men who are born of men, to judge them. But we don't do that. All right. And why don't we do it? Worship. Worship is the reason we don't do it. These dudes want something from black women, whether it's the cooch, whether it's money, or whether it's notoriety. They want something from them, so they don't correct them. All right. They may talk about them in general, but if they see one acting a fool and actually in the act of doing something evil, they won't correct them. They won't say that they're wrong specifically, unless it gives them worship, unless it allows other black women, the ones that they do want, to come on. And then they protect them tooth and nail, because that's what worship is, right? And so when you look at this, the black woman keep it going, because as you heard the woman says, they never mentioned, the black woman that wrote the article never mentioned that it was a black woman that went and got her brothers. As a matter of fact, anything that let you know that it was a black woman, this woman who wrote the article used other words to cover up the wickedness that was done by the black woman. It was instigated by the black woman, carried out by the black woman who brought her brothers there, and her brothers were shot because of following the black woman. I want you to understand this. Her brothers were shot because of following the black woman. They never questioned her. They just like, oh, we're going to wreck that because nobody can, my sister and my mommy. A lot of these dudes don't know that when your father is not present, the oldest son, for reasons he died, the oldest son being of strength, he is now in charge of the house. The woman is never in charge of the house, and the mother is never in charge of the house. What's up, King Groove? Exactly. I'm pretty sure we don't agree. We come in and with views, this, that, and the other. All right. And so this is just crazy, right? But hold on, we're going to get into something that reaches higher than that, right? And I want you to pay attention to this. This goes higher than that. It's on Facebook and everything, right? I don't know how many people have seen it. All right. I don't know. Brothers need to check these women and get away from them and not have anything to do with them. If your family is that jacked up where the women have too much power in wickedness, then you're supposed to leave it alone because you're a man. You ain't supposed to be living under mama's house anyway once you become a man. Your sister shouldn't be nowhere in your vicinity once you become a man. It should be you, your woman, and all the rest. So they're trying to, a lot of these dudes on YouTube, when they have women in their panel, they are trying to raise their profile because their goal is money, not the truth. All right. People like me, even Sotomayor, I'll give him credit, Tariq Nasheed, Black Ram, Rick Scorpio. Oh, the dude with the cigars. Somebody help me, dude with the cigars, like the Steelers. We've been talking about this way longer than these dudes. But these dudes are seeing a niche. And because Kevin Samuels have opened up the people to really looking at this, now they're trying to be the next Kevin Samuels. And Texas Marines saw that. Everybody's trying to get his people. But no one is trying to tell the truth. Why are they trying to get his people? They are worshiping the woman, because if they worship the woman, even underhandedly, they can get more views. If they get more views and get that magic number from the Caucasian people, 10,000, this case Chinese for TikTok, they will start getting paid by them. All right, it's all about money. It's like our society of simp males only care about money. Period. And that's why you can't correct them. That's why they are guarding their platform, because their platform is not about truth. You could get rid of somebody if they're calling you out your name. You could get rid of somebody that's trying to tell you how to run your platform. But y'all know the stuff they were talking about today. Y'all know I have all the stats on, and that not one time they only use their own people. So it's not worth doing. I thought the dude was cooler than that. All right. But apparently he's not. And I'm seeing that I'm not the only one. Now I got a bunch of brothers on here that think differently, that see things differently, come from different backgrounds. And so long as we have this respectful discussion, and some of the brothers have taught me some stuff. All right, y'all ain't seen, Texas Marine could tell you, y'all ain't seen when we get me, brother Elijah, brother Dwight Zimmerlu, get us in a restaurant and anything goes conversation. Oh, we be on our feet. Oh no, man, this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, we hug, go our separate ways. Hey man, when we doing this again? All right, when we doing this again? I wouldn't say Fresh and Fit are pandering to women, because they tell women the truth, but they are their channel is shock value. Their truth is because of shock value. David Carroll, that's the other one. David Carroll. Oh, let's not forget the mad bus driver. All of us was the same stuff we're talking about now. We were talking about this long before, because we saw the disaster that the black community was heading towards. We saw who the culprit was. And we checked it. All right, and these women came together, and they decided to. Right, that's the feeling. Right now, this is deeper yet. We're going to do deeper yet. So we're going to stop here. Yeah, she loved her status in Sodom. All right. All right, we was all in it. We was going at it. But then we was cool. Like, when we doing this again? All right. And so basically, and it's a bunch of people with a bunch of, and you get that when you have a bunch of people with a bunch of knowledge from different sources. Oh yeah. Oh, you better bring your A game. And if you don't have an A game, I stay out of it. All right. All right. I want y'all to look at this comment. And we're going to come here and start here. Okay, we're going to go here. And we're going to come back to here. All right. And I want y'all to pay close attention to this, because this is very disturbing. And what's not disturbing is what happened, but what is disturbing is the amount of the cover up that we have going on here. All right. How many people saw the interview? I saw this on Facebook. The interview with Kevin Samuels. I mean, not, oh Lord. Tyler Perry. Hold on, let me do something real quick before I post it. This is with Tyler Perry, all right, and basically, in short, it's about a minute long. So this is going to be about a minute long, right? And I want you to understand what is really going on here as we take a look at this. I want y'all to understand something. And this is a deep conversation that needs to be had. Right? This is a hold on for a second.
How does Tyler Perry know to tap into that audience then?
Oh, listen. I grew up in the house with my father was a motherfucker, man, and my mother loved him with all her might and strength. So, here I am, a kid that he hated because I was creating.
Okay. Understand what he's saying. All right. Remember the first two screens? Oh, we're going to deeply go over that real quick. Because a brother pointed this out. All right, listen to the whole thing now.
I would write and draw. He's like, this nigga, this shit ain't never gonna make. Fuck you, think you get to, hit me upside the head and all this other stuff, right? But her love and her passion, not just for me, but for him, blew my mind. I'm like, how can you love this horrible person, right?
You and Dad are not close, us.
No, not at all. I haven't talked to him in probably 11 years.
Okay.
But he gets a check every month, brand new house, brand new car. Absolutely, because my mother asked me to. So, I gave him what he gave me. We were never hungry. There was always food in the house, and the lights were always on.
Okay.
So I make sure he had that, right?
Okay.
But he's missing the best part, which is a relationship with me. Anyway, but just being at her apron, watching her struggle and go through this stuff, I had a very open heart to just not only her, but just women, Black women, and my sister.
All right, understand this.
And what they dealt with men and struggling, and just watch.
In other words, it is the men's fault that these sisters are struggling and what they dealt with, right? Understand the BS. So he's going to take what happened to him and blame it on the men. Oh, but this is about to get deeper than this. Tyler Perry is hiding a lot of stuff. But you don't have videos going Facebook and TikTok without some of the best detectives that I've ever seen when it comes to finding dirt and junk. They'll come out to bring the truth out as to why these things were going on that he was dealing with.
Black.
How many sisters?
I have two sisters, two older sisters. I don't know how you can sit in the lap of a Black woman and watch her go through that kind of hell and it not affect you. Mm-hmm. So all of my first movies were about my mother subconsciously saying, like, Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and the critics are saying this is bullshit, this or this that. But the
Okay. So now let's look at the truth of everything that's going on. Let's get into the truth of it. This is why I want you to see that. I want you to see how at no time did he make you think like his mom did anything wrong. Even with him being older. Hey, what's up, GW3? Even with him being older and understanding what really happened, they still hide it. Why? because he worships black women. It's so much so that he worships his mom so much so that he pays the man that he don't like. But why? His mom got him to worship her. It's part of the brainwashing. And even though the truth comes out, oh yeah, they don't really mean it. Okay. All right. In order to keep the truth, in order to keep the truth from coming out, like the news reporter. Okay. Yep, chameleons. Yep. Like the news reporter did. She hid the fact that it was a black woman that brought her brothers who had a baby. She referred to it as anything but a black woman. Okay, and stuff. And so the black woman is seeking money, and because they believe that a lot of men were simps, all right, they are going after the money. No one cares about the truth. This is all about, oh, China, yeah, they sent, oh, it's worse than that. It's way worse than that, but that's in the video for another day. All right. And so, and keep in mind, I believe she's running the country, not Joe Biden. I keep telling you, this country is being run by one of them women up there. And I believe it's her. And that's why China had such a fit about it. All right. So when we look at this, now let's look at what's really going on. All right. This is Corey Stokes. All right. He did some investigation. Right? All right. So he dug up the DNA test. Right? And this is the thing. When we talk about things, and this is when we're saying separation and critical thinking. Right? We need to educate ourselves on people before you start blindly following them. Corey Stokes, he says this on Facebook. Interesting. Do people know that he wasn't his real father? I want y'all to, let me repeat that. Do people know that he wasn't his real father? And that his mother cheated on his father and conceived him with another man while married to him? So the dude wasn't Tyler Perry's real father. His mother cheated on his father and conceived him with another man while still married to his father. So why do he feel all this animosity? He feels this animosity because deep down Tyler Perry knows this because he had the DNA test. But he's going to hide that fact. The other people come and point out y'all know I'm gonna have to throw this up in here again. There are way more abusive mothers than men. Remember, 71% of children who are abused by their mothers, not the man. So Tyler Perry is full of BS and a liar. He could sit back and watch all these mothers abuse their children and not say SH, not make a movie about that. But because of his mama, who he worships, who slept with another man, conceived him from another man, and you have to know that the father, the dude he's calling his father, understands that he's not his real son, would feel some kind of way to stay married to the woman who did this to him. Stepped out, had a child from another man, conceived a child from another man, and then tried to pass it off as his own. And he asked this question: why do American Black culture leave out important details like that? And we are not a matriarchal society. That's a myth. That matriarchal society, that is a myth. And I like the way a brother broke that down. We are not a matriarchal society. A lot of you may have seen that link explaining why we are not a matriarchal society. I don't okay, let me see this. Okay, the Black Manosphere Classics. All right, this is something I want y'all to see. All right, you can't see the bottom. Oh, okay, got you. There it is. Sorry about that. All right. All right. So there that is. Now I want y'all to really I want y'all to see something else. Hold on, let me see this. How did I put this up here? I want y'all to see this. Now, I sent this to a lot of y'all, but I want y'all to really get a gander. I want y'all to understand something. All right. I hope this is
That means a gynocracy, but a gynocracy is a dysfunctional matriarchy. It's really not a matriarchy. It's really not a gynocracy because technically, to be a gynocracy, they have to be enforcing the will, which is really because we're really occupied by a higher thing, which is white supremacy, and every time draws power from white supremacy, they are betraying black men. And it is actually an unforgivable betrayal. When a calls the police on a black man, because here's the thing, and I'm going to tell you why. You choose to be in that relationship with that dude. If you call the police on a black man to check him, that's unforgivable. That's unforgivable. When you abort a child, real talk, that should be in the unforgivable too. I don't want to hear about dudes raising their kids because y'all don't pick for dudes to raise their kids. Y'all pick the dudes y'all want to have sex with. That's the difference. There's certain things that women do that's casual that really should be unforgivable. This is actually worse than a dude slapping the shit and slapping a woman to the ground. It really is. But because they're women, it's allowed. And women buy into that even when the stuff is done. Honestly, a woman knowingly sleeping with a married man to another black woman, that should be unforgivable. But the sisterhood accepts that because they believe in man sharing. My point is, when you look at matriarch, the reason they don't like Kevin is because Kevin was what you call a matriarchal representative. What does that mean? Women try to elect representatives, as in matriarchies, women elect men to represent them to other men. Those niggas work for them. Now, does this sound like the Congressional Black Caucus? Where even in a lot of the male positions, who did they really listen to? Does that sound like Obama? Yeah, that should be. Does that sound like a lot of the niggas that come out of academia, with a cute couple of exceptions? Shout out to Ron O'Neal, Green Gorilla, Dr. Tia Stein Johnson, Tommy Curry, Dr. Clark Anderson, and others. Does that sound like that? Remember, any of y'all that's listened to me for a long time, what did I tell you? The black community is like a matriarch, like a gynocracy, like matriarchy. I say matriarchy because I don't want to fucking explain the difference with you niggas.
Okay. All right. And what I am saying, but he is saying that in that sense. And what I am telling you is because, all right, because the black community is a cult church that worships the BAW, all right, because it's a bunch of brainwashed individuals who were taught to do just that, worship the BAW. So we don't hold them accountable for anything. All right. All right. And so people like this can use them in this form of worship. Remember, I'm saying worship is when you give your alms to somebody in return for something materialistic. All right. And so this is what you get. Right. And so basically, for too long, this is why I said we must separate from these clowns. For too long, you got Afro men that were seeking to have black women on their platforms, except for the older ones. Some of them got them there to get some understanding and talk about topic. But for the most part, when you look at any of the younger dudes that's doing this, they're doing it for shock value and they're doing it to make money. When you look at these dudes that's becoming famous on TikTok, some are becoming famous in their own right, but others are using women. They started off by themselves, but now others are using women in a pact with black women. And don't worry, black women are the gatekeepers of that channel. It's because by default, because that man secretly worshiped them, he is not going to allow that black woman to be offended by the truth. He'll have his truth. The black women will have their truth, and none of them will have the truth, because no one is interested in getting to the bottom of the truth. Right? And so, right. And so, and we're always being judged, and people don't understand it. People don't judge, don't judge, don't judge. We're supposed to judge, and everybody uses judgment all day long. You can't survive and be prosperous if you have poor judgment. Period. If you have poor judgment, they traumatized his mom. And the dad traumatized Tyler Perry. And now we can look at why he was being traumatized. He had to pay for the sins of his father and his mother. The mother committed adultery and conceived him from another man. And he finds out that the DNA test says, nope, the dude that you thought was your father is not. But you know who knew that? The dude you thought was your father, he been known that. The dude you thought was your father knew that you weren't his child. Why do you think he treated you like SH? That's sins of the mother. And lied to both men to cover up the dirt she was doing. And that's what everybody is doing now. We got a society of liars in the so-called black community who's lying to the Afro men who aren't going to study, who aren't going to show themselves approved, who aren't going to look at the data, who aren't going to do any of that stuff. We got a society lying, straight up lying to the Afro male population, destroying the children. Because if you got all these simps and panderers running around lying to the men, then they're also lying to the children, and the children won't understand the truth until they get older, and they'll be angry at somebody. They're either going to be angry at the men or they're going to be angry at their mom, but they will not be at peace because of the lies that the so-called elders told them to make money, to not make waves with the black woman. Oh, you don't want to make waves because of their weakness. I ain't one of them Negroes. All right. And so now you got this. And now hold on. And people don't understand this. All right, I'm gonna just pivot just a little bit and give you my thoughts. And this is what I think from what I've seen, and from the visit, what I've seen, what was asked, what was done, and understand it was a woman in a society that worships women and don't correct them and give them power off of the backs of men. Men created a society and then turned around and gave the women power, and she's destroying it. Nancy was told not to do what she did. She was told by everybody and their grandmother not to do what she did. She did it anyway. Did y'all see what she flew over in? I put it up on TikTok. She flew over on one of 3 military planes. Now, they call it a military plane because they can't tell you. They wanted to hide it. The media wanted to hide it just in case somebody might connect the dots. Okay, how is Nancy flying over in that particular military plane? It wasn't the C-130. It was the blue bottom, white top plane that says United States of America. That plane. When the president is generally, when the acting president or the person who is elected president is on that plane gets another declination number. It becomes Air Force One. Okay. So for those of you who don't understand what Air Force One is any plane that the president gets on with his security detail. It then is called Air Force One. Air Force Two is the vice president is on it. For the helicopters is Marine One when he gets on there. How in the hell is Nancy able to fly over there with something? Now, she was accompanied by fighter jets, because that plane is accompanied by fighter jets when it flies. The plane is accompanied and protected by fighter jets when it flies. And this is going to be important for this next segment. All right. Then you had aircraft carriers being positioned in there just in case something go off. And then she took a different route than normal to avoid the Chinese planes, which was going to intercept that plane. They were going to intercept that plane. Now, why is this important? Because a lot of these moist towelette-minded simp was sitting on here who's never served in the military, paid attention to the military, don't understand anything about the politics or optics, don't understand what that plane was, didn't watch all of the news to put the pieces together, decided to stay truly ignorant to anything that's going on in their life. What's up, K-Dot? I see you. They ignore all that, but everybody, all of our 6 resources went to bear to pay for an ignorant, downright stupid decision of a woman who was trying to flex the power that she has, that wasn't given to her by the electorate. The whole way she went over there, the whole way she ignored everyone's advice, the way she was received, China's reaction. The world knows something about who's running our country that we don't. China was reacting because they understand the power share in the United States. They understand there's the president, then there's the vice president. But if them two should be seen incompetent to the point or dead, die, or anything happen to them, the next person in line in that position is Nancy Pelosi. And quiet as it's kept, remember, it's been the House that's been making all these laws that's gone against the people. Well, who's in charge of the House? That woman. And every resource went to protecting her stupid decision. And now that stupid decision had dire consequences. And she had to go because of her mouth and stuff. It was a lose-lose situation, because that's what women get you in. Like that woman that brought her brothers to fight some dude that was her baby daddy, that everybody tries to cover up for her decision. It was a lose-lose for the brothers, but they lost more than they thought. All right. Everybody is always covering in this country for the wickedness of the women, while trying to blame the men for the wickedness of the women. You got a minority of men that may do a thing, they'll blame the whole population, but you got the majority of the population of the woman that does a thing that is way more serious, way more destructive, not only to say like the child, but the entire family and community, not only say to a country, but the entire world. And no one wants to stand against that or call that out. No one wants to stand against that or call that out. That is the problem. You got so many weak dudes. A lot of weak dudes will avoid this channel like the plague. Y'all know why? Because you know all them graphs and stuff I put up there. How can you argue with that? Hold it. How can you argue with that with what your eyes are telling you? Your eyes are telling you that them graphs are bearing out what the truth is. Your eyes are telling you. Your eyes are saying, oh yeah, I see it. This is how my mama treated me. Yep, I knew my mama was sleeping around, didn't understand it when I was little, but as I got older, I understood she was a dumpster. She was a passed around thought. And I don't mean the thinking one. All right. And so basically this is what you have, right? Um, this is this is the society we live in, and that's why if you're a righteous man, you need to get together with other righteous men. And I'm gonna tell you how you know who those are. In the meantime, for those who like to donate to this channel, um, I don't know if I'm gonna start bringing any more soccer balls and stuff to Colombia, because you got one time to rob me in my hotel room. You know, I might not I just might not come back to this particular hotel, but yes, yeah, I have a problem. All right. But for those that like to donate, I'm still going to help children that and those that are Afro children in the diaspora. It'll just be maybe another place, right? So those that would like to do it, my Cash App and PayPal me will be in the description box. Remember, you before you donate to anybody, you take care of yourself and family first. Self and family first before you donate a dime to anybody. But if you got some extras that you could donate, hey, it'd be most appreciated. All right. And so now, so here we are. So how do you know if you're dealing with a righteous man? A righteous man is going to stand his ground. Understand this. A righteous man is going to stand his ground. A righteous man ain't going to, if he sees something that's out of order, he's going to mention it. A righteous man is not afraid of the BAW because he doesn't worship the BAW. He don't want no money from her, don't need no money from her, don't need her from work for money. Yeah, that's what he says. He says his mother is the reason he start playing Medea. But his mother wasn't wise. Remember, she slept with a dude while married to his father and conceived him from another dude. So DNA says that, hey, Dad, you are not the father. And you had to think that this man knew this the whole time. Why? Which is why he was so mean to his mother and him. That woman betrayed him in the worst, betrayed his father in the worst possible way. Had him to raise a son that he knew wasn't his. All right. I mean, really, really, that's what happened. That's what happened here. All right. And how do we know this? Because this is generally what happens when these women do this kind of mess and then hide it from the child, and the child don't find out until later. These people, I want y'all to understand something. Hold on for a second. These people have been given the black woman cover for all this evil for so long that she keeps doing it, and people keep covering it up. Why? Well, we don't want the child to be upset. We don't want to make waves. But then the child ends up being destructive to a entire male population for something that mainly the females are doing and are responsible for. All right, hold on for a hot second. There we go. All right, now TD Jakes is catching hell because he finally had to tell the truth because things are getting that bad. Things are getting that bad. And here's the thing. So what if the women leave? A lot of women were getting their money from the men, child support. Men stop dealing with women, period. So where are they going to get that money from? All right. Yeah, Solange. Yeah, there was a lot of things that's been taken down, and they're attacking the Afro men's site. Anyone that tells the truth, though, even the UN is getting in on coming after people that tell the truth. All right, even the UN is getting after that. All right, and so, hey, what's up, King Groove? Yeah, Kevin Samuels was a black version of Dr. Phil. All right, and so this is where we are. This is the legacy of the so-called Afro community. Now, y'all know, go and look right below my donation links is a lot of research data there that shows you that the people that's wrecking us is the women. And the reason why they're wrecking us is because instead of judging them, you got most people worshiping them. So that when they run across somebody like me that's going to call them out, they're like, I don't have to listen to you. I can go and move myself over to the side of the person that's going to tell me anything I want to hear. Because that's what they do. The path of least resistance, because they want to feel comfortable in their wickedness. All right. And they even attack the sisters that come to the truth. And I mean real truth, not as a part of a group, but they attack them, call them pick-me's and stuff like that. They have all kind of negative names for people trying to do things right, but want to come up with positive names for people that are doing things wrong. Oh, she already has. China has sent forces over to Ukraine. They banned her and her family. They put sanctions on her and her family. They're doing dangerous war games surrounding the island of Taiwan. Oh, oh, things are bad. Things are real bad. Oh, and now China has moved closer to Russia on the financial markets. Hold on, let me see something. China is attacking us, but not in a way that people thought. Here's the thing. No one is attacking. All right, people are using their army as a backup to show a force, but what China did is they did a cyber war on Taiwan. They cyber attacked Taiwan. Remember, the Chinese and other people understand that if you want to hurt the Caucasians that's running the United States, you go attack their pockets. You show the people that you could do a war, but you go after the pockets. And that's exactly what China did. They're going after their money. Because remember, the programming says that no matter what the black woman do, you need to stay with her, but she could leave you at the drop of a hat. That if he was to divorce her, he would have lost half of what he did. He would have lost his finances. He would have been paying child support for a child that wasn't his, and possibly alimony for a woman that cheated on him. And those men that worked as hard as he did to provide the lights, food, and everything over his head, they believed that it was cheaper to keep her because it was cheaper to keep her. Feminism, And so, see, here's the thing: people don't understand how the fight could get hot, right? But right now, what you see them do is they joined in a proxy skirmish. I call it a proxy skirmish by sending forces to aid Russia, because we're already there. We're already there, and a lot of us already know what's going on. And they tried to hide the truth, but because of social media, a lot of people that travel have gotten the nitty gritty on what's really going on. Yes, for a while. And half the times we didn't know we were taking care of another man's child. This is the wickedness that the scripture was talking about, that the women were going to be judged for. And not to mention the abortion stuff. Right. Now, here Yediah. How many of brothers are taught that from the churches? The churches ain't reading that. They read Jesus forgive everything. Oh, and they didn't even read that because that's not in scripture. You see what I'm saying? Only now are brothers really starting to wake up. Because when I was trying to wake brothers up back in 2009, all the way up to 17, when my channel got taken down, then after that, until Kevin, and I had a lot of views. I had millions of views on a lot of my videos, but they were like everybody around the world. And that's why I came up with the languages thing, because a lot of people wanted me to greet them in their language. So I had a bunch of people from Africa, Holland, the Netherlands, Germany, Sweden, Denmark. That's where the Gordon Hardu and Gudak come from. Okay, so there was a lot of people, but even then, a lot of brothers weren't feeling me like that, because there was a lot of truth. They didn't want to hear the truth about the Democratic Party and this stranglehold on our souls as a people, right? They didn't want to hear that. So my channel was popular, but it wasn't never popular with the brethren. Wasn't never popular with the brethren like that. All right, one moment. So here's the thing. You got a lot of so-called black folks that run from the truth. You have a lot of us that run from the truth. Sorry, I wasn't up at the speaker. You have a lot of us that run from the truth because if they're afraid of what the truth is going to reveal. because some of the times the truth reveals something that you must react to. So a lot of us don't hold on for a second. A lot of us don't want to hear the truth, much less deal with it. Period. All right. Now, because we don't think and because we don't really pay attention to what's going on, we don't understand that everybody is under attack. All right. And y'all understand it. Everybody is attacking the dollar. Understand it. Brothers and sisters, when they said we were going to be at war, World War III, we are in World War III, but it's not the war that everybody thought it was going to be. There are two sides. One that's trying to keep the dollar strong and the other one that's trying to destroy it. Why? Because behind the dollar is so much wickedness and blood, it is ridiculous. All right. And so this is what's going on, right? This is what's going on. So now that at the end of these comments real quick, as we start to, now I'm going to send the invite. So, all right, so this is open discussion. Please watch your language. Oh, hey, Youngboy 24. Yeah, anybody that want to pop on, the link is here. All right, click on. All right, anyone that wants to pop on. But brother, you got it. Everybody thought that it was going to be a bloody war, but a lot of people starting to realize that, oh, wait a minute. Oh, the very people that we're trying to punish might like that. But the people that we're trying to punish love money, so we're going to attack their dollar. Now, if you look at it, if you look at the sides, right? When under Trump, United States had respect, and you had people were reasoning with us because he was looking for what's best for us and what's best for other people, right? Hey, and go ahead, continue that thought, young boy 24. You are on. Go ahead, bro.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on, let me finish that thought.
No, go ahead. Finish.
So, because this is what pivoting off of your thought, and then you come in, you got the floor. But the thought that I was having, that if you look at the sides, and you look at what everybody's doing, everybody's not gathering together their armies, they're gathering together their banks and how they're going to do money.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that Gaddafi was trying to do, that they took him out for, Obama, how everything was going to be based on the dinar. Now everybody was like, oh, F you, the United States is weak politically, right? And now they done pissed a bunch of people off, and so now they're going after the money. Go ahead, you got it.
No, you said it right there. That's facts. Because, like,
is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. You broke it down perfectly.
All right, we got Texas Marine on here too. Go ahead, Texas Marine, you on?
Hey, what you just said picked the thought in my head.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So, let me break it down a little bit. Okay, anybody that saw the first Purge know the first Purge was showing you the prequel to the Purge, which was a test of the Purge on a lower class people. Now you go back to when they first started hitting child support. In other words, we'll attack a certain race of man's money, a certain class of man's money to weaken him and see what the effects are long term. And now that has spread far and wide. You attack somebody through their money and you use another part of that group to hurt that.
That's what they did with
Now,
us.
America, and you say it started you can say it started under Daddy Bush, but it ramped up under Clinton. We farmed out all of our industry. So now, if we make the big thing about World War II is America had its own ability to create its own product.
Yeah.
We can't create jack now. So how can we fight China when China holds our industrial might in their hands? And if they just block Taiwan, where we going?
But that's what Trump was trying to do, bring the jobs back here.
And that's why they had to get rid of him.
Yep.
But not just that. Trump was talking about going after the whole child support system because he knew it wasn't fair.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to stop. You have to stop somebody that is going to spoil your plan.
Nasty.
You can't let somebody come in and mess up your master plan. So America right now, we can't fight Russia and China. Especially they're united. China has all our goods. Russia has the most nukes. The biggest threat in the world is them two together, and Biden just put them as bedfellows.
Hold on. And Taiwan has the semiconductors, but Russia is totally self-sufficient. That's why the sanctions didn't work.
Like we used to be.
Right, we look like we used to be under Trump. They are totally energy independent. All right, their thing was the financial market and their debts, right? All right, and so can you blame somebody from not paying a debt if the person that they have a debt with actually is the cause of them not being able to pay?
But Nabi, get this.
No.
They say China has most of our debt, and now they just united with Russia, who U.S. blocks from having the debt. Russia has all the minerals that China needs to make the products, and they make our products. You just took two superpowers that need each other and don't need us now.
Okay, hold on. And now we need everybody because we don't make crap. Go ahead. Go ahead. Who else is this? Oh, go ahead, Only Premium.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, I want to say something regarding the potential war with China. If is there a war or a blockade, I believe China provide 80% of the product to the West. So people will suffer because we have a shortage of product. We already have a problem with the energy crisis around the world. And we have problem also with the crop from Ukraine and Russia. So and also the stock market will crash soon. And the Democrats try to redefine the word recession, but we are already in recession. We're going to depression. So 2022, 2023 will be extremely hard for everyone. So that's my comment on what's going on.
And understand this. I keep saying that Joe Biden isn't. How is the dude running things that can't remember his name? We said other handlers are running the name and running things, and it's Nancy because she runs the house with an iron fist, right? But I keep telling people it's a bunch of women, the Clintons. It's a bunch of women that's running this thing, and people often wonder what would happen if women start running things. The world would become volatile. And then the men in the world, the men leaders would stand up, and they're going to. I mean, what are they going to do? You got one that think as men battle, and they think simple. And I'll tell you the story about Russia and the space thing to show you how simple Russia thinks to solve a problem. And then you have the other China that is Zen-like. When they say Zen-like patients, that have a propensity for the long game.
Yeah.
Again, women that do things because of their feelings, and they didn't build any damn thing, but they want the credit for all the things that was built for them.
Yep.
Right? And they want to throw all that the men did away because, again, I kept saying it. People like, well, what is the difference? What's wrong with them? They want worship. And
Yep.
when you want to be like God,
It's gonna be God. Yep.
Most High will punish those people that help you try to take, that take His throne. And the reason why this is important is it isn't because God is threatened.
I
I
like to
want
add
y'all
some,
to understand something.
I
If you
like
never
to,
understand anything else, it says to the least that you do to my people, I will do to
To you.
you.
but
Right? Hold
one
on, let
thing.
me finish this thought. Let
Also,
me
sorry,
finish this
sorry.
thought.
Go ahead.
What people don't understand is us Afro people in America are His people. And so the people that will cause us to worship them, the Most High is going to go after them. Because if the commandment that people are having us break was the one that I led off with, thou shalt have no other mighty ones before thy face. You should not make any graven image in the heavens above, in the earth under the heavens, in the waters under the earth, and bow down to them. And what the United States have done was got the Most High's people to bow down to the image of the woman to the point where they're not doing their job and judging the woman, any
Yep.
of them, or the political party. They got them to worship the Democratic Party, and we're supposed to be judging it, not worshiping it, right? We are failing in everything that we were created to do. And because people in their mind warfare by using our black mothers, by making the deal with her and having her brainwash us as a child. Remember the Willie Lynch paper? We will make a deal with the black woman and have her brainwash their child, and by the time she get done with them, the females will act like men, and the men will act like women. And
Mhm.
tell me that ain't is what's coming to pass. Go ahead,
That
only.
Okay, there's a few things I want to say. I agree with you.
Uh,
Nancy Pelosi and other women is running the country, but when you look in Taiwan, that's not a woman, and she, she don't understand China will punish Taiwan if they try to become independent of to
mhm.
talk up Nancy Pelosi. Uh, for me, that doesn't make any sense because you could make
Nancy
a
Pelosi.
remote
I'm gonna argue with you like this. I think Nancy Pelosi. All right. So Daniel, um, wait until let's see, Young Boy 24. If you hold on, am I on your? Oh yeah, no, that's no, Daniel, you could pop on. That's my thing. So you'll be the 6-1. You can pop in, Daniel. Pop back in. Okay.
Okay.
So she knows she just didn't care because she's a woman. She don't care about what she wanted, the money she was going to make, and the power she was going to wield. She didn't care about the
Oh,
people.
Daniel.
Okay, I understand that. What I try to say is, first of all, the president of Taiwan is not a woman, and
You want to go back in there?
I don't understand why she did not understand the implication of the visit of Miss Pelosi. She could just have a remote connection with Miss Pelosi, so it doesn't make any sense for me. And one more thing, Miss Pelosi, she her and her husband invest in, I believe, Nvidia Corporation. That's a
See, yep. I was going to go there. Go ahead. Go
corporation
ahead.
that
Speak on it.
build chip, and after she created a bill for to invest in Taiwan regarding the chip. So that's, first of all, that's illegal. That's illegal. That's one thing. And also now China are sending troops in Ukraine. Also, allegedly, North Korea make a proposal to Putin to send troops in exchange of crop and energy, oil or gas. And now Turkey, now at 5 or 6, their bank adopt the banking system of Russia, not the SWIFT, something different. I don't remember the name. And NATO did all that, try to isolate Putin, but everything's backfired right now. And if there's a war, but probably we'll have all war with the United States and China. Remember, 80% of the product and good uh, are manufactured in China. So
When we say
that would
Nancy
that would
Pelosi effed up, she really effed up. Hey, King Groove, go ahead. You're on. King Groove.
Yeah, what's up?
All right, you on. What was you going to add?
I have one more question. What do you think
Uh,
about
let
Hold
me
on, let King Groove go real quick.
go ahead and skip me right quick. I'm walking my dogs. I'll be back in the house in a few minutes.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Back to you, only premium.
what do you think of the statement of TD Jake saying women are raised like men and they try to prove they don't need men, and that's explain why the relationship is not
All right,
working?
here's the thing. Everybody that's talked against the Afro man are paying a price, and they're going to have to pay a price. If
Yeah,
people have any spiritual inkling, they know that the Most High is coming after them because they
yeah,
lied. They bold-faced lied on the Afro man and did not hold the black woman accountable, nor did they allow the Afro man to hold the black woman accountable. They allowed the woman to mobilize the system against the Afro man. Do you know how many 911 calls black women make against Afro men? They make twice as many 911 calls against the Afro man as white women make against their men. Twice as many. 2 times the rate of white women. These women, and they do it frivolously as a weapon to use to try to keep Afro men enslaved to them.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is the thing. All right, so they're talking about all these the women that are being killed, right? Oh, we must protect black women. Do you know who when you talking about the homicide, do you know who's committing the homicide?
their boyfriend.
Over half, around half of the homicides. So the majority, almost all of the homicides that's committed um, of the black women, it is going to be their intimate partner, and we know that that you got more black women in relationships, intimate relationship with other women, than almost more or almost as much as men. Okay, okay, now understand it almost as much as women on women, and we know by the Harvard paper that to the tune of 70 more percent women instigate violence, but you got more women on women violence than men to women violence, right? All right, now let's look at this homicide again. The homicide that's being committed on black women are, according to the CDC, are from their boyfriends who are coming out of the prison system. That's according to the CDC. According to the CDC, their boyfriends coming out of the prison system. And you have to look at intimate partner violence. All right. And most of her things is coming from intimate partner violence. And it's coming from people she are handpicked. There is no man running around the community offering only Afro women. As a matter of fact, if you want to look at who's died the most, it's men, and it's mostly gang related. All right. And so this is what's going on. And the whole time, no one has been checking them. And now, here's the problem that TD Jakes has. Everybody start looking at the numbers, and the black woman is taking, driving the community extinct. She is single-handedly taking us on the verge of extinction. We are already on the side of extinction because we cannot reach our population retention point, meaning for every two people that so you have a family, for the mother and father, when they die, there will be two children that will replace them. We don't reach that because of the abortion that black women have been having. And if you look at all the other stuff that's been going on outside of disease, but even include that when you're talking about the STDs, they are the spearhead that has led us down that path. Again, the first thing that I led off with is you have a bunch of dudes that followed a black woman to their death. And that's not isolated. This is mainly how brothers are dying.
Yep.
They the BAW done said something, did something, and they felt like they got to go protect her honor. Now they dead, or the person that they went up for, and they're dead. And so a dude is dead, and the other one is in jail.
Like I said, that women is the man's downfall. A lot of men in jail behind these things.
No, only in our culture and only in our community. We have the most dangerous women of any other culture to the culture, statistically speaking.
Wow.
Hold on, I'm looking at this troll that just popped up in here. All right. I mean, and so when you look at it, when you really look at it, right? This is the deal. Right? This is the deal. We've been and the people that gave her this power knew what she was going to do with it, because it's a spirit that gave her the power. And let's not deny that we don't understand that it's a spirit that gave her the power.
The demonic spirit.
Exactly. That's who's running the government. The government, remember, the government, this is not, we're in this world, but this world is run by an evil spirit. This is why you got people at the top doing things. This is why that black book by Janae Maxwell was hit by the courts and the media and all of this. This is why they'll put R. Kelly in jail, but they ain't going to put them people that did worse in jail. I'm not saying he don't belong there. I'm just saying that little black book with all them people on it, they hid them.
You should not be the only person. You should not be the only person in there. Them adults, they guardians, whoever they was, they should be going to jail too.
Exactly. There's a whole bunch of people should be in jail with R. Kelly right now from out of that little black book.
We know there's an island where there's a lot of politicians and president that went there, and one of them, his son had a scandal in Ukraine, right? So
yeah. And so you hide that, but you put the Afro man in jail.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
All right, and so hold on.
And the crazy, they was bringing them to him.
Yeah, so the mothers were doing that again. When we look at this stuff that was going on with him, the mothers were the ones running that. They're trying to get him for RICO.
Mm-hmm.
Right? RICO, it's the mothers that was doing that. The mothers was running that stuff. So why didn't they go after the mothers?
And for years, even when I was a kid in school, I went to school with girls that were messing with these older dudes.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this: Everything about all the laws in regards to that is out of order, is because it's out of order. All right. We done listened to women, and women didn't want to compete with youthful
Yep. They
and
can't.
things. The women didn't want to compete with, and so they wanted the law to make the age higher and stuff like that, and so and that's basically what's been going on, right?
True, very
one,
true.
one more thing.
I don't mind the 18 thing. I don't want to be messing with my anyway.
Well,
It's
again, in our
too tough.
society, we
Yeah,
wouldn't want to. All
yeah,
right, but
yeah.
remember, our society is not the. Our society is a different society.
Yeah, but Navi, now you know as well as I do. On a military installation, the age of consent is 16. 16.
Yep.
Nobody has a problem with that. Nobody has a problem with that outside in the free world because that's just the military. But in Alabama, a girl can get married at 15.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, so this whole 18 thing, this whole 18 and one man, one woman is made for control.
And it's
Yep.
very new.
Exactly.
Population control.
If you go back pre-1950, the most prolific families growing in America were Latino and Afro-American.
Yep.
It wasn't an issue. Replacement rate was not an issue because we was reproducing at a mad rate and we were catching them. Combined, we were bigger than them.
And
So
they
they
had
had to
to
eliminate that.
and they had to make figures to make no babies either.
Gentlemen, what do you think about the case of the WNBA player, I believe, Whitner?
She can stand behind over
Jenny Grimes.
9 year.
Well, hold on. Let me say
there.
this.
She got off easy.
Hold up. She broke Russian laws, right? Two. It wasn't marijuana. It was hashish. I don't know the difference between the two. But
There is a difference. That's like an hallucinogen, like peyote mixed with some bomb ace. What do you call that stuff? Like some expensive designer rapper type of herb. You know what I'm saying? Mixed with that hallucinogenic type stuff. It was not just regular, wacky tobacco. No, they really wasn't tripping too hard on that. This broad had psycho drug inducing, nonsense.
Okay, now let me say this. So let me say this. Now here's the problem again. Remember how I just showed you the article? So you had Tyler Perry that hid the most important thing about his relationship with the dude that he thought was his father until that DNA test, is now that he knows that that dude wasn't his father, he should understand why that dude should feel some kind of way. But no, in order to give the black woman, his mama, a pass, he hides the most important information that she skated out, had sex with another dude, and created him from another man, and then passed him off on his father, and his father had probably knew that that was not his son, right? Then you had the woman at the beginning, where a black woman gets her brothers to go after her baby daddy, right? And the men run into the house, and she yells at them, "Don't go into the house!" Bam, 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 bam. And he like, when he doing it, right? Well, what's up with this? The lady that wrote the article at no point mentioned that it was a black female, a black woman. She didn't use any of that, but she was damn sure straight to make sure that it was a black man who shot other black men who went up into the house of a black man in order to fight with black men. You know what I mean? And so that's the issue. And so now when you come to this, in order to, again, give them a pass and not have them judged, why? Because if you judge them, you're going to have to convict them, or there's going to have to be payment for all the wickedness that they've done. And so people would rather not judge them.
True.
All right. And so when you look at everything, go ahead.
The one thing that brother did that was very smart, he shot them in his house.
Yes.
Not outside.
You know,
Inside.
I tell you something. It's a good thing that brothers ain't violent or on some evil type stuff. Because if they ever wanted to assassinate the 90% of the BAW population, we could just post up outside the wig shop after the child support checks come out and the welfare checks come out, and just post up on the rooftop and pick them off like ducks at a shooting gallery.
That's sad, man. Sad but true. Sad but true. That's
You know
funny.
what I'm saying?
That's wrong, man. You wrong for that. You wrong
But
for
he's
that.
right. But he's so right. He's so
You
right.
wrong for that, dude. You
I'm
wrong.
telling
But anyway, and so that's the issue here, right? The fear of judging the BAW is causing the failure of the entire community. Period. In this, and it is what it is. And the fear is not because no one is afraid of them. No one is physically afraid of them. They don't want to upset them because they worship them, because out of the worship of BAWs, you get money, you get coochie. You understand? People worship. All right, here's the thing, and this is why I say worship is people. When people worship, they are looking for something, and it's different from people who follow the commandments. So when you look at the commandments, there's a different way in which the Most High wanted us to worship Him. All right, the Most High wanted us to worship Him by simply following the commandments. So when you follow the commandments are: one, don't put nobody in his place. All right, that's that one. I brought you out of the land. You should have no other mighty ones before my face. You don't make image of them and bow down to them. Why? That's detrimental to us. You see what I'm saying? All right.
Wait a second. I agree with you, but
Let me finish my thought. So that's detrimental to us. If we don't rest our bodies, that's dangerous to us. If we sleep with another man's wife, well, that's dangerous to us. If we steal people's money, well, these are kind of things that make people mad. That's dangerous, right? So when the Most High didn't say go to a church, do this, that, and the other. When the Israelites was in their camps after leaving Egypt, they had Egyptians with them that taught them all these worshiping practices. But when you look at Abraham, right, and that's the model that we should be following, and what he taught to Isaac, what he taught to Jacob, and what he taught to Ishmael, and when these things were passed down, we didn't have synagogues. We didn't have a place to go bow down, shak, shak, to worship the Most High. We worship the Most High by keeping the principles. It's principles we call them commandments now. The principles of the Most High in how we should live. And because of how Abraham lived, he was elevated amongst all his peers and stuff, to the point that other people are like, hold on, who is this Elohim that you are worshiping? Let us know this is because I see that there is favor in everything you do, because when you follow the commandments, you are blessed in and of from following the commandments. When you don't, you get repercussions that the commandments was trying to keep you from, like telling a child, don't run across the street or you'll get hit. Yep. And they run across, they get hit. Well, they are hurt because they disobeyed you. But if they obey you, they get blessed. They are blessed with having good limbs, not hurt, All right, so that's how the commandments work. Now, the other worship that you have is when you give your alms to something in order for something in return. So you got women worshiping the tarot cards because they want perception. They want the perception that the tarot cards or whatever entity that runs that medium is going to give them. You get men who are worshiping the black woman because the black woman will get them money. So long as they don't say nothing or hold them into account, they will bring in people to their platforms. They will get them money. They will make a lot of money off of them. They'll get the simps that'll come in to a live stream and donate money to them, to their homes and everything. They ain't doing nothing in the community with it, but they're buying their homes, they're riding in fancy cars, this, that, and the other, all from the donation of simps. All right. And this all comes from the worship of these women. And what's part of that worship? You elevate them. Even when you're critical of them, you don't be critical enough to take them off their podium. All right. And the women will allow you to do this because they need these simps to come in to hear the false message that you're preaching. Right. The women will then, other women will gravitate to that platform. And the more women that gravitate to him, the more strained that dude is in his platform from what he can say. Because now he don't want to lose that audience. Right? And now he's getting money. Well, that's worship. He worships them. He has his platform. He's wanting their spirit to come in because their spirit bring in simps, and simps bring in the money. That's what y'all don't understand about worship. You got the worship that the Most High wanted us to have, where we don't do that and elevate anybody. And even if we was to go in heaven and see the Most High in all his glory, we would not be allowed to come down here, make an image, and have people bow down to it. Because what did he say? He said, we are not to make an image of anything in the heavens, and that includes him.
Yep.
And y'all people ain't really think about what he was saying when he was saying that. That includes angels, any of the mighty ones in the heavens. We are the only people, the believers, that have a belief system that's based on honoring others, and by honoring others, by living the natural life, we in turn are engaged in the worship of the deity that we follow, that gave us the commandments. We have a commandments that say we don't bow down to anything in the heavens, in the earth, or in the waters under the earth. We worship by keeping the commandment. How do you know? How does he know? How does the Most High love us? We keep his commandments.
Nabi, can I say something right quick?
Go ahead.
You know, it's interesting that when you was talking just now, saying that, all I could think about is the end.
One of the biggest problem with black community.
Hold on, only premium. Who's that speaking right now? King Groove?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, let King Groove speak, then come in right behind him. Go ahead, King Groove.
Okay, I was just saying that, Nabi, when you were speaking just now, talking about, you know, we're only supposed to worship
Go ahead, King Groove.
Okay, that you're only supposed to worship the Most High and bow before him and no other angels, spirits, people, idols, or anything. You know, that's 110% accurate, and folks don't realize it. And I think, you know, I watch a lot of old school movies, and if you remember in that movie, The Last Dragon, like a lot of these old movies have messages in there. I think that the Most High left a few messages in some of these movies to kind of wake folks up sometimes, people who just don't get it. You remember when Show Enough had Leroy's head under the water in the big water tank?
And he said, who's the master? He said,
that's right. And hold on, don't forget, in the desert, Moses said, I just spoke to I am, and he says we're supposed to go forward. So I thought that was interesting that Leroy didn't say me. He said exactly verbatim, like it says in the Holy Bible, I am. And that's what the Bible in the Old Testament called the Most High. I am. So I said that's very interesting. And it was a brother who was like us brothers, have been given the power to see through the nonsense, like Nabi be really dissecting and chopping this madness. Now, I don't think nobody on this panel is glowing right now, but you know what I'm saying? We're keeping it real and, you know, spitting facts. I just thought that was, you know, kind of interesting that you know, you're showing. I mean, he could have easily not took the butt whooping.
What I want to say,
okay.
One of the major problems of the black community, we have an army of simp. That's one. And a lot of time, black women see black men come back to rebuild the black community. But the problem, um, they want us to make the heavy lifting, but they don't want to give us or give us no, not give us the authority. That's not the right word. They want to keep the authority they have by the white man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big problem because you mess up the community with all your decision and you side with the feminists and the welfare state. And now uh, for the competent black man, some want to fix the community, but you're not going to fix the community. You don't have no authority and you don't have collaboration of your woman. So if you don't have collaboration and you don't have no authorities, it's like a drop of water and the sea. So doesn't make any sense. And like I say, is the army is simp. And one more thing is another problem. When you try to wake up people, some people sometimes don't know and don't care about the truth. But you have another problem. Some people know, but they are comfortable on the illusion and the lie.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm
sometimes
saying.
I
That's
get frustrated. Sometimes I get frustrated with the time because now with what happened with the emic, I'm not going to say the word. More and more people start to waking up, and a lot of people are dying. Young athletes are dying, and they see the V is not working, and you have a lot of case. And now some doctor try to are saying why it's not working and so on, and people are stubborn and they
right.
prefer
But
the illusions. They don't want to the truth. They prefer to remain ignorant. And I
only
don't
premium.
get it.
Only premium. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. And so yeah, that's the point we made at the beginning, right? That's the point we made at the beginning, right? And David Bowman, he says black women are being is the only protected class in America, right? He ain't saying that, but I'm paraphrasing because I'm adding to this. He said black women being a protected class here in America is going to come to an end. All right. But right now, they're the only protected class in America by law. If they could do the same crime as a white man and get less time, they get the least amount of time for the same crime statistically that any other people do. And the Afro man gets the most. All right. Now, with that said, right? With that said, um, hey, what's up, exploit people? Um, um, with that said, that at the end of the day, um, at the end of the day, what's happening is this. What's happening is this. Things have to be destroyed and be remade. All right, and I think the Most High is going to destroy and remake things. A lot of the black women are going to perish alone. Right? A lot of men are starting to understand. They're going well, and some might not be alone. They may have their simps with them, and all the people that do the wickedness. All right, and then the black women, the so-called sisters that's trying to get right, they're going to find because they're seeking the sisters that are seeking good men, and that's going to submit to them. They're the only ones that's going to make it out. Um, and the community as a whole, to include the money mongers, the so-called pseudo-religious, all the people that tried to shut down the conversation that the real Afro men were trying to have, and because we're not supposed to be taught these conversations right here. No woman should be in my panel right here. The only time you see women on my thing is when they're an expert in something like finance, like they work for a bank or something, right? But in these panels,
Now I see why you're not monetized, because that was some of the realest stuff I ever heard in my life.
okay, to when you look at it, there are couple women that have privilege that come on here. One is Bertha, the other is Mechadon, Woman of the Past, and Charlotte, right? And that basically that's it. Now they ain't been Bertha listens a lot of time, but she listens. You know, she probably on here now. We just don't know it. So if you're on here, Bertha, hey, what's up? All right. But yeah, so Bertha's probably up here on here, and Bertha's been a big supporter. But if she has something to say, she speaks with wisdom. And see, a lot of women think they're smart. They think because they got a Caucasian man's programming that they have, and the piece of paper that certifies that they've been programmed by him, that they are either intelligent, smart, or wise. They may be intelligent, but they're not wise at all. And you can see that in their practice, that they are not wise. People like Bertha, I don't know if Bertha got a degree or not, but we know she's wise when she do say something. Right? She's wise to stay in the background, not say junk at all half the time. See, that's a real woman right there. They know when to say stuff, when not to say stuff. Okay. Yeah. All right. And so basically, those are the only women that come on here that have that kind of thing. Right? And now for other women, it depends on what we're talking about. And I will have vet them to see, oh, you work for a bank. Oh, you could be good for this. And so I invite on because of, let's say, what their job was or something like that. Right. And so this is what it is. And so I'm gonna let everybody say their last word. We got 3 minutes and I'm shutting this down. So let's start with Young Boy 24. You got anything to add, bro?
No, I ain't got nothing to add.
Okay, what about you, Texas Marine?
Yeah, I'll say this real quick. From inside track, from the family of the DFW, apparently a lot of the men were leaving the church. A lot of the younger generation that really woke compared to some of us that are getting woke. They're leaving the church because they're tired of being there, being bashed, and women being praised. So they walking away. And a lot of the younger women coming up in that church can't get husbands because them guys ain't going for the same thing that we were brainwashed into from birth. So he's losing people in there. And if the men ain't giving women having babies, they ain't getting child support, he can't get paid.
Right. Oh, so and he's definitely losing all the men. I got it.
You got to change the narrative.
Okay. All right. Only Prima, go ahead. You got a couple seconds. What did you have to add?
Black men need to be smart and have discipline, because now with the new law regarding the child support before the children, a lot of women would act like a predator. So
you're going to have that. That would be so illegal, and everybody knows it.
Okay,
that's just yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay. All right, King Groove, go ahead.
You know, I mean, that's real. And, you know, at the same time, there's only so much legally that they can do, but they've been doing a lot of stuff, getting away with it. They shouldn't not be able, under the Constitution, being able to garnish anybody's wages, go into your bank account. I mean, that's some communist stuff. That's like dictatorship. I mean, you can't work. I mean, in some states, like in Michigan, those men up there are suffering. These guys have kids that aren't even theirs. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to jail for the weekend, losing a job. I'm like, come on, man. These kids ain't like these broads get to go off and have the hot girl summer and act a fool and shake their butt. You know what I'm talking about? And then they having babies that aren't even these guys. And the one guy was talking on the news, and this lady took his case for free. He had never even had sex with the girl, and he still had to do like a month in jail.
And what about the white man that did 5 years in prison for a child?
I saw that. I saw that.
All right, go ahead, Daniel. You'll have the last word. Go ahead, bro. What did you have to add?
Anybody hear
And
me?
let us know you're doing your thing again. Go ahead.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we got.
Oh, this is all. How y'all doing? I'm just shout out to Young Boy 24. Was it Papa was a Rolling Stone. Dun, dun. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left was alone.
All right, with that said, that's gonna be the last word, y'all. So I'll holler back at y'all next Saturday at 8 o'clock. So y'all know that we're doing this Saturdays at 8 o'clock. So
And I'll still be here.
and Mr. Marine still be here, right? So
Hey,
Saturday at 8 o'clock.
Hey, Nabi, hold up.
never trust a big butt in the lace front.
Hey, did any of y'all see my shirt I had on, that flashback shirt?
Oh, did y'all see his shirt?
All right.
The one with the Afro on it? Afro lady on
Yeah.
it, some man or whatever? Yeah, I see that, yeah.
Okay.
Look to not be Afro men. my god sister made that in Houston. I'm gonna have to get her to make some more.
Yeah, I did want it.
Yeah, when I get back, I'm gonna have her make some more.
When you coming to Pittsburgh?
There y'all go.
When I get back.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
There y'all
All
go.
right. There it is. There it is, y'all.
Represent.
There you go.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get them bigger. Hold on, let me see.
Hey, then you get the Nabi belt and the Nabi jacket. Coordinate.
You gotta coordinate.
Let me get this out of here. Let me see. All right, there it is. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm out, y'all.
All right, now we see you.
See y'all next Saturday at 8 o'clock.
Peace, love, and soul.
Equintu Ultra, right devil.
I feel good.